Imagine a land where emerald forests stretch endlessly, until they don't. Welcome to Indonesia, where the same soil that feeds villages also hides fortunes in nickel, copper, and gold. But this isn't a fairy tale. It's a story of promises made and broken. Today, we're diving into the murky world of mining reforms, where laws meant to empower communities often leave them buried under rubble. Yet, as we dig deeper, we'll see how these laws are just the tip of the iceberg. In 2020, Indonesia's mining law arrived like a knight in shining armor. Or so it seemed. Cut red tape? They cried. Boost the economy. But here's the twist. The law also handed the president sweeping powers to revoke permits, leaving local governments powerless. Picture this. Villagers in Sulawesi watching helplessly as their ancestral forests were carved up overnight. And GR 205224. It's like handing a toddler a chainsaw. Religious groups and state-owned enterprises can now grab mining rights, no questions asked. Spiritual enlightenment, more like spiritual bypassing. While these laws falter, companies slap on CSR band-aids, claiming to help communities. Ever heard of a gift that keeps on taking? Mining giants like PT Freeport boast CSR programs. Schools, clinics, even scholarships. But ask the Papuan women who've lost their fishing grounds to Grasberg's tailings. They built us a library. One told us, but our kids are too busy working in their minds to read the books. Meanwhile, rivers run orange with poison. It's like putting a band-aid on a bullet wound. And when communities demand answers, crickets, or worse, security forces. Speaking of destruction, let's look at the environmental costs. Indonesia's nickel fuels your EV. Yay, climate hero. But producing it leveled 24,811 hectares of forest in 20 years. That's like clearing over 46,000 football fields. At Weda Bay, smelters pump CO2 like a coal-fired binge. Renewables are the future, says the government. Sure, if the future involves sacrificing entire ecosystems. Mitabu City, a fisherwoman near IWIP. Before, we caught 10 kilos of milkfish daily. Now, 1 key if we're lucky. Her story isn't unique. It's the cost of your green battery. And as we look to the future, reforms promise change, but will they deliver? PR 6-Fin to 2023 demands ESG compliance. Great on paper. But enforcement, let's just say Indonesia's regulators aren't winning any watchdog awards. Chinese firms control 80% of nickel smelting. And US, Indonesia critical minerals talks exclude Chinese-owned mines. It's a geopolitical chess match, with communities as pawns. Yet there's hope. Activists in Papua are suing Freeport. Villagers in Sulawesi are blocking trucks. The question is, will reforms finally listen, or repeat history? As we wrap up, let's consider what this means for the future. Indonesia's reforms could rewrite the story, if they survive politics. But until then, communities get pollution, companies get profits, and the planet gets a headache. So, what can you do? Share this episode. Join the conversation on social media, and let's push for change together. Next week, Why Your Coffee is Bitter, a supply chain horror story. Thanks for listening. Keep digging for the truth.